All right, so today we are going to cover some of the basics of Mailchimp. We will go over how to sign up your account, and we will go over how to import contacts in a couple of different ways, as well as some of the basic audience options that it has to offer. So when you first sign up for Mailchimp, you'll just have to enter in some basic information like your email address, your username, and your password. And you'll also see a checkbox at the bottom that says, I don't want to receive emails about new Mailchimp products. I'm going to check that off just because this is a demo and I'm familiar with Mailchimp, but if you're new to the platform, you may want to leave that unchecked so that you do actually receive emails from Mailchimp. You'll then be prompted to check your email in order to verify your account. So just click on that and then click the Activate Account button. And then you'll be brought to a page where you have to confirm that you are not a robot. So it took a couple of tries on my end, but I don't know why, but my internet also was just being a little bit slow. So I think it went through on my second attempt, but once you get through this section, you'll be brought to some of their different paid plans. Now, if you're new to the platform, definitely just stick to the free plan as you start up. And then as you get more comfortable with it, and if you think you need some of the additional options that the paid plans do offer, then definitely go ahead and upgrade. But we're just going to stick with the free plan for now. And then you're going to have to enter in some of your basic business and personal information, just like your name, your business name, and what type of business that you run or work for. I'm just going to fast forward through this part. It's pretty self-explanatory, and then we'll meet back up. So this is the Mailchimp dashboard. From here, you're going to want to go to the Audience tab on the very top of the page in the navigation. This will bring you to where you can import your contacts, view your contacts, edit your contacts, and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and click on Import Your Contacts, and you'll see that you have a couple of different options here. You can import them from a CSV file, you can copy and paste them from a file, or you could use integrated service, which allows you to import contacts from platforms like Google Drive, Constant Contact, or other ones like that. In this video, we're just going to go over how to import from a CSV file, as well as copying and pasting from an Excel file or CSV file. So to start, I'm just going to open up an Excel file that I have with a few different aliases of my own email address. They're just placeholders that I'm using for demonstration purposes. I'm going to go ahead and save this as a CSV file. It will not allow you to import a Excel file, so just be sure that you do save it as a CSV. So once you save it, just save it somewhere where you know it'll be, and then select it. Click Continue in the bottom right-hand corner, and then upload the file by hitting Browse and then finding the file that you saved and dragging it right in there. If you're on a PC, it might be a little bit different, but I'm on a Mac. So continue to match, click that button in the bottom right-hand corner once you select your file, and it will allow you to make sure that the columns are being matched up correctly. So it does look like they were matched up correctly this time around, but sometimes you may have to mess around with it a little bit, but we'll go over that in a minute or so. So now you'll be brought to the organizing page where you will be able to add tags to all your contacts. And just to sum it up quickly, tagging contacts is a way to create sort of a sub-audience within one overarching larger audience. So let's say you have a contact list of like 5,000 people, and then they were all imported from different events that you held. Let's say they all attended different webinars, and you want to make sure that you know where these contacts came from. Basically, you could tag each contact when you import them with a certain tag. So let's say they attended a webinar in May of 2020. You could add a tag that says webinar attendees May 2020. And then you import some later on to that same list who attended one in June. You could add a tag that says webinar attendee June 2020. And then later on down the line, if you need to, you can actually target specific tags with email blasts so that only people who are attendees of a certain event that you held or whatever tag you add to them. you can make sure that only those people receive the email. It's just kind of a way to keep things tidy so that you don't have to actually create new large audience groups and just kind of create clutter in your audience section on Mailchimp. So just as an example here, I just added webinar attendees May 26, 2020. But I just made that up. So add whatever tag you want. And then you'll see the option to update existing contacts. This is just a feature that Mailchimp offers. So if you're importing contacts that may already live in your audience and you want to update, say their email or the tag associated with them, you can check that off. But because these are all new contacts, we're just going to leave that unchecked this time around. Okay, so now we are all set to continue to the review portion of importing your contacts. So just click that button in the bottom right-hand corner, and then you'll be brought to the "You're all set to import" page. Then just click import. Everything should be all set at this point, and your contacts will import. So let's take a look. Once it loads, you'll see that all 4 email addresses were imported successfully. And now on the audience tab, you can see your total amount of contacts, and you'll be able to click on, let's say, whatever amount of contacts you have and view them all from there. So in this case, we have 4 contacts. I click on it and it brings me to a list of them all. So now we're going to go over how to import contacts from copying and pasting from an Excel file. It's a very similar process to importing them through a CSV. But when you click import, just click the copy and paste option, continue, and then you'll be prompted to paste in the contact information. So I'm going to actually take that from the Excel file that I have open from earlier. I actually went in and erased all the contacts just so that they could be re-imported this way. So I'm going to actually select all of the contacts in my sheet, right click, click copy, and then go back to Mailchimp and paste them right in this box here. You always have to check this box that says, "I understand my billing plan may be automatically upgraded." It won't be unless you're exceeding whatever the limit is for the free account. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. I actually have to match up the columns when I import contacts using the copy and paste option. So just make sure you match up the columns. You'll have a bunch of different options from the drop down. So I'm going to match up the first names with the first names, the last name with the last names, and the emails with the emails. And then you should be good to go. It's a pretty simple process. Again, you have the option to add tags as you continue. I'm not going to add any this time around. Then I'm going to continue to review and then click import. So we'll see if they successfully imported, which it appears that they did. All right, so moving on to some of the basic functions of the audience tab and the settings. As I mentioned before, when you click on the amount of contacts you have in an audience, you can see a list of them all. And then if you use the Manage Contacts dropdown and then select tags, you can view all of your tags from there, and you'll have the option to create new ones. And then if you go under Settings, you can find a tab that says Audience Name and Defaults from the dropdown. This is pretty important. It houses things like the name of your audience. So just type in whatever you want your audience name to be under the audience name field. And then you'll see an option under form settings as well that says Enable Double Opt-in. We generally like to leave that off because double opt-in basically makes contacts that sign up for your list confirm that they want to actually be on your list via email. So you're not guaranteed that they will be added to the list if you do enable double opt-in. So we are actually going to leave that off for now. And if you scroll down, you'll see some campaign default options. This is where you'll be able to set things like the default from name, the default from email address, and things like that. For the default from name, you're probably going to want to add your business name, and then your from email address is going to be probably your support email or your info at email. You don't want this to be directly linked to your personal email, but just set that to whichever email address that you'd like. Now, one other quick thing that I would like to go over is just When you're actually viewing your contacts within an audience, you have the ability to go in and click on their name and then see a bunch of information about that specific contact, such as the tag that they're associated with, how they were added, what their open and click rates are. So it's just kind of a cool tool to take a look at if you're ever curious or you ever want statistics on how often that they open your email blasts, which can be pretty helpful if you're really into the data side of things. But anyway, that's all we're going to cover for today. If you have any specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below or reach out to us via our contact form on our website, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Please remember to like this video, and if you'd like to see more content in the future, hit the subscribe button.